Britney Spears fans are putting the judge in her conservatorship case on blast. So last week, the judge ruled against immediately removing Britney's dad as her conservator and also denied Britney's request to hold an emergency hearing on the case. Now the Free Britney movement is coming after the judge. TMZ is reporting that Judge Brenda Penny is getting death threats online. Others are calling for her immediate removal from the bench. One fan is even asking for other so-called victims of the judge to come forward. What do you think about this, Jeff?
There's a couple things here. One, it goes to my earlier point. You can't let the mob decide. This is a judge. This is a federal judge. You can't tell them to go kill yourself, right? And they're calling for her job. This goes back to my old point. Everyone should be accountable for their own social media. You could say whatever you want. I'm all for freedom of speech. But if Wendy is working at Wendy's, good one. You know what I mean? You could be like, Wendy, did you just tell this federal judge to go kill herself? We have a problem here. So you have to be responsible for what you're talking about. Let's go to the fandom after that terrible joke.
It's real, though.
Yeah, the fandom thing, I think, goes back, again, to social media where it's just a community of people, whether it be political, whether it be Free Britney. If you're socially awkward for whatever reason, you could find a friend online. Wow, I have a friend. Now I have 5 friends. Now I have a community of people that are agreeing with everything I say. And then that's where it gets a little dangerous because then you build yourself socially to the top of that, and that's when it gets extreme.
Right. Well, sometimes, community friends are just that. It's a book club, and it stays like that for 20 years. But when it starts getting into this is all we think about. This is all we focus on is Britney Spears, conservatorship. I'm a fan of Britney Spears, but I'm not going to be threatening federal judges in their lives. And that's where we start getting back to some accountability. That's where we start talking about with those people attacking the school board people. When you start attacking people and threatening their lives, now we don't know because it's a dummy account if it's a serious threat or if it's not. We've had Congress people shot like Gabby Giffords.
Right.
And so this is a real threat. And until something happens, the cops would be like, we hope it's cool.
I agree with you both, but I don't want to paint the entire Britney fandom with a broad brush because some of them are actually taking legitimate steps to push for legislation to re-examine the case and make sure that they don't have a biased judge that perhaps did have other cases that were quote unquote unjust. So I think it's always okay to question authority. I think it's always okay to ask for an independent investigation and make sure that every single T is crossed and every single I is dotted, but at the same time, you can't be calling for people's lives. You can't fall victim to the mob mentality, but not all of them are that extreme.
And the extremists make the people who are actually putting steps and action forward, it sets them back. Because I know any initiative or anything that I've ever backed, and you see someone do something that completely takes out all the gas away from what everyone else was really trying to do to help. I also think when you're talking about fandom, when it comes to artists like Britney Spears, Britney was a part of many people's coming of age. Some of the songs that she sang were the stories of many fans' lives. So there is this very fundamental connection. And I can understand why people go so hard for her or a Taylor Swift or a Beyonce, because they're representing a part of them. And when they feel like they're in pain, it's like, oh, well, she got me out of the deepest, darkest time in my life. So let me be there during her time of need. And I think that's very real for a lot of people.
Don't they work?
I think it's just I think it's a respect, and then it kind of gets greater than a respect, like it's just something that people feel like that's their connection.
Nothing.
I'm just saying.
I'm thinking of. No, I'm laughing because Sebastian Maniscalco's in my head. That's what was in my head because he has this joke. He's like, I never woke up in the morning and thought of stapling a piece of cardboard to a piece of wood and marching around the courthouse. It's his joke. It's hilarious.
If you watch Sebastian the comic, you'll know what we're talking about.
I'm glad you got that because I wasn't laughing at you, Eric. I was just in my head.
Of course I did.